Cup champion Darren McCarty, the golden voice of Neal Ruhl, and the iconic Terry Foster. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Oh, here we go, T-Foss. Big D energy on this Friday. Dropping the hammy on the pontoon. You like that? We're in this before it freezes, before the ice freezes. Darren McCarty, Terry Foster here. Big D energy, joined as always by the legend killer, Flannel Sam, and Spencer Raxter. How are you gentlemen this morning on this fine Friday, getting ready for the weekend? Big weekend.
Feeling good, ready to go. We talked about it earlier. The Pistons had a big win last night. Killian Hayes stepped up.
Got to start off there because very rarely do you win, let alone you go into Dallas and play the best team, one of the better teams in the league, with one of the best players in the league. Can we agree?
Yes, we can agree on that.
And honestly, we were talking about it earlier. I don't know if any of you, but I picked it up because I was out in Pinckney with One's Honesty. Shout out to everybody who showed up for the Teen Suicide Awareness film. If you get a chance, check that out on Facebook. Anyways, I thought it was going to be the same old Pistons when Luka Doncic misses a free throw. They kick it back. He hits a three.
Now you said SOP?
They go. That's what it is. SOP. Yeah, you know me. But it wasn't, Spenny.
No,
it wasn't. What did you? Is it Killian Hayes back?
Yeah, I'm not going to go that far yet. The kid had the game of his life. He played great. He knocked down back-to-back threes in overtime to kind of seal it. So it was great to see. It's great to see him coming into his own, playing very well the past few weeks, and especially yesterday, he stepped up big time. So happy for Killian, happy for the Pistons. Ivy came back after his stint with injury, came back out there, played a solid game, and Marvin Bagley's been playing great the past couple weeks too. So it's good to see the guys starting to play some better ball.
Terry, did you catch that between libations serving the people last night at the?
I sort of did, but it's so loud, and then you're watching a little bit, and then you're talking to people, and you're watching a little bit. So I was back and forth.
But you'd sort of tuned out, right?
Yeah.
Until
that's why if you're a good team, you don't let bad teams hang around in games, because if it becomes a 2 or 3 minute game, anything can happen.
Anything can happen in the NBA, and it does. So for all you people that had the Pistons last night, congratulations to you. Big weekend this weekend before we start out there.
The hometown hero will not be joining. I just got word he will not be joining us today.
He will not be joining us today. That's unfortunate, Mr. Eric Lund. We hope if you get a chance, quite the story. Maybe we can put the story out in the Twitter or in the universe to find out. First double arm amputee back in 2017. We would get a chance to get him on later. You can read his story. So that's unfortunate. But before we get going, a lot of Michigan stuff to talk about. Obviously, we'll get to the Lions, things like that. I wanted to send a shout out first off to it's going to be a good weekend. You know how I know? Detroit Dabber 313 first in the chat. But also too, I think this is pretty cool. And the DMAC disciple Tammy Chin Schultz has put a contest out for her elementary school in Heartland, and the winners have been picked. So here's a few pictures. This is Mr. Clint Chester. He's in the 4th grade of Round Elementary in Heartland, and he is the winner of the tickets to the Wings game.
And these are all pictures of you. I'm disappointed the photo with the big bulbous Darren McCarty head didn't win.
And then here's a couple of the runners-up if you're watching. Look at just love the creativity. To me, it's about the next generation. You know what I'm saying about what I love with Tammy and talking to her says, well, the kids that, they don't have an idea, but they go home and their parents do, and then they come back, and so they have that little bit of culture, Wings culture that their parents get to tell them. And I mean,
the one of you holding the cup's good. They got the beard right and everything.
That is, if you follow DMAC OSB, I retweeted that from a young lady. So those, I appreciate that creativity from the elementary school and stuff like that. So
sweet.
All about the sort of the community and stuff like that. Terry, I wanted to start out because we got a lot of things going on in the football world, obviously with Michigan and stuff like this.
Stuff is settling down in the college world.
They're settling down in the college world. Where do you want to start? What do you want to talk about? We get right into Michigan and start talking about that. Obviously, big. We're going to have to get big kick to the gonads, eh? Flannel, as far as the Blake Corum news, out for the season. You sort of had an inkling that you knew that it wasn't good because not only not coming back, but unable to play in the Ohio State game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is the end of the world because of Donovan Edwards in the offensive line. And I know Blake Corum has got the experience and everything. And so for the Purdue game, it doesn't matter. It only matters when you play TCU or Georgia or whoever you might play in the college football playoffs, because Donovan Edwards, at some point, this is going to be his team as far as being a running back. So you're just starting the clock a little bit early.
But didn't we see what we sort of expect to see in the last game? Wasn't that, especially at the end of the game, the running style? And I know that like you can't count on the 75 or 85 yards with both in a single game, but doesn't that speak to the dominance, more or less, that the way that the Michigan line's got to play? Sam, does this, because of obviously Edwards' game in Ohio State, it gives you full confidence? Are you even worried that Corum, and I know you understand that you can't replace Blake Corum, but you're sitting pretty good. You're not really that worried, are you?
I mean, it's hard to kind of say that losing a Heisman Trophy candidate running back for the rest of the season doesn't give me cause for pause a little bit, but I've said many times, I think Donovan Edwards is the better back. He's the more talented back. He showed in the last game against Ohio State with those two dominant 75-plus yard runs to close out that game. He's a home run hitter. He's a star, and I don't think that's definitely not going to hurt Michigan against Purdue, but I think where it could hurt is I don't want to see guys like C.J. Stokes and Isaiah Gash getting carries to kind of spell Donovan Edwards. Blake Corum's the hammer. He was the hammer all season. He was the best offensive player on this team. So it kind of goes both ways. I think we'll be fine with Donovan Edwards, but we're going to miss Blake Corum for sure.
Yeah, to me the biggest problem is in bigger games, you want to go two backs. So Blake Corum would be number one, but Donovan Edwards would get a lot of carries. Now you're talking about Donovan Edwards getting the majority of the carries, and those other two guys, you don't really want them out there. So that's the only problem I see that in college and professional football, where it's set up now where two guys have to carry the load against better teams. Now you only got one guy.
So I guess it comes down to where's your confidence level in Donovan Edwards? Do you think he's ready? Is this obviously getting...
He's obviously ready.
He's obviously ready. So
right.
You're not worried, Terry? Maybe that's a chat.
I guess no, but your margin of error is smaller. So like I said, in football, you want two guys rolling. Even if one guy's getting 70 or 80% of the carries, the other guy's going to carry. Now with Donovan Edwards, he's the only one I want carrying the rock now. So to me, that's dangerous. I mean, he could get dinged up for a couple series. So your margin of error is small. But if he doesn't get beaten up or hurt anything, and he's rolling, then you're in good shape.
Now, how much, obviously, are you worried about because he's been banged up a little bit this year. But the fact is, are you full confident that what he did at Ohio State is more of the norm?
Yeah, no, I do. I think he is arguably the most talented running back in the Big Ten right now, and he was the backup all season. But you saw it against Ohio State. You saw how he closed out that game with those long runs, how explosive he is. I think that he is the better back of the two, as I said before, and I have full confidence that he will give a hell of an effort against Purdue and in a college football playoff. It's to what Terry said. He's going to need to be spelled from time to time, and I don't have a ton of confidence in guys like C.J. Stokes and Isaiah Gash, but Donovan Edwards, full 100% confidence as long as he stays healthy.
I think the scariest thing is not running back, but what happens in the trenches. Last year, Michigan was given the award for the best line in the nation, offensive line, but they got manhandled by Georgia. Now, if you still have a discrepancy on the offensive and versus defensive lines, then that's where the problems can come through.
Yeah, 100%. But the thing about this year's offensive line is I think it's better than last year's because of a guy named Olu Oluwatimi who's come in and been probably the best center in the entire nation, filling in for Andrew Vastardis, who graduated. He was a good college lineman. But Olu Oluwatimi is one of the best offensive linemen in college football at the most important position, the center. So I think they're more equipped to handle the more like a physical Georgia defense, which also isn't as good as it was last year. I'm not super worried about Michigan in the trenches. I think they can compete with anybody up front.
Big Dan Davis says losing Corum sucks, but we should be fine with Edwards, and agrees with Terry and you, Sam Flannel, that they don't Stokes or Gash getting carries. This might force Michigan to open up their passing offense.
Guys,
so
that's not happening. Who's the coach? Did they fire Jim Harbaugh?
Now, here's would you? So if we consider what they did against Ohio State of opening up their passing offense, then you could expect it to that extent. But to you, Terry, I'm getting that's not opening up the passing offense.
No, I don't think they opened up. I think Ohio State played such a ridiculous defense that Michigan had no other choice but to pass the ball downfield. Purdue's not going to do what Ohio State does. Purdue will just take their medicine. Hopefully Michigan will make a mistake before they score a touchdown. That's going to be Purdue's philosophy. They're not going to go all out to try to stop the run like Ohio State did and not leave anyone back. Purdue will just take their punishment, and they're not going to do silly things that's going to create openings downfield for Michigan.
No, my question is, right now coming in, and we've talked about it yesterday about, certain teams like Ohio State and Alabama not playing this week, not having to play. Are you, as a Michigan fan, happy that you're playing this week because of this to sort of do you look at this like sort of an exhibition without Corum? Do you look at a positive like this, or would you rather just not have to play this game and move into the playoffs?
I mean, I would probably rather not play this game personally, but at the same time, it does give the offense, a Blake Corum-less offense, now that you know he's never coming back, some reps. Just a reps against a team that they should beat, that they should manhandle, and just give them some confidence that no Blake Corum, no problem. We got Donovan Edwards, a guy who's even better than Blake Corum. I hope that this is kind of a tune-up game for the pass offense, a tune-up game for the run offense, and for the defense, because Purdue, they do have an element of explosion, although they're like diet Ohio State, like poverty man's Ohio State. So I don't like having to play this extra game and have the potentially of having disaster incur, but at the same time, they need more reps, especially without their best player for the whole year.
College football is going to have to change its mindset. When you play in a championship game, all it can do is hurt you. Let's say Michigan has the number 2 seed. If Michigan does not play, there's no way they lose that number 2 seeding. Now, and I don't think it'll happen, but there is a chance if they lose to Purdue, they could get kicked out. So there is no benefit except for hoisting the trophy for playing in the championship game.
To that argument, Ohio State not playing, sitting at 5,
right,
is proverbially in a better shape because also, too, if you go to injuries and different things like that, is that not the argument to why the Rose Bowl got all the way for the playoffs? Yeah,
that's true. But, there's just certain things in life that are just half-assed backwards. Think about this. Michigan mollywopped Ohio State on the football field just a week ago.
At their home place.
At their home place. Now, there is a chance if, something weird happens, there's a stupid break, that Michigan losing to Purdue in a championship game could fall behind Ohio State. That doesn't make sense to me.
No, that doesn't make sense at all, and hopefully that's what the 12 game or the playoff system will help. Anyways, if you're looking for help in a mortgage, I know where to go. Go to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, not only for an award-winning haircut experience, but to register for once in a lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream house. House $200,000. Yes, $200K sound. Get to Lady Jane's today. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff a Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward in Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff a Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Time to talk about Phillips. No, not English antique dealer Amias Phillips, but Michael Phillips, of course. Looking to buy or sell your home, whether you're a player or a fan, helping you buy, sell, or invest is Michael Phillips' top priority. Being in the game for 23 years makes Mike the number one option for anyone. If you have real estate needs, call Michael Phillips at 313-403-0011. That's 313-403-0011.
What was that, Phillips, again?
English antique dealer.
Ooh.
He's making stuff up on us.
It's here. I see.
And we're allowing it to happen.
I like it. Antique Roadshow. Everybody loves the Antique Roadshow. Welcome back, Big D Energy. Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Spets Rackster, Flannel Sam, dropping Phillips from all over the world. But make sure you go see Mike Phillips. He's the man.
That's the only Phillips you should see.
That's the only Phillips you should know. Anyways, we were talking a little bit of Blake Corum, a little bit of Michigan. I wanted to stay on the University of Michigan. Obviously, big game for the championship this week. It's some things are just ass backwards in this world. In college football, playoff system is one of it. Hopefully, this solves with the more teams, the 12 teams and stuff like this. But Spence, speaking about players, one of the guys that got himself in a little hot water, not yesterday, but a couple months ago, and it just came to fruition, was Mazi Smith, defensive tackle for the University of Michigan. Do we have an update on the situation? If you weren't privy to it, it came out yesterday that he was booked on felony gun charges stemming from an October 7th. October 7th, even concussed hockey guy knows that's almost 2 months.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We talked about it a little yesterday when it broke, but we officially got more on the case and what happened. So he was pulled over for speeding. He did not have his driver's license on him. He did not have his CPL on him either. He's applied for the CPL, was waiting for it to come in, but did not have it at the time. And that would be fine if the firearm was locked in a lockbox in the trunk or away from him under the back seat, but it was within arm's distance, like arm's reach, and that is an illegal way to carry a firearm, unless you have your CPL, which he was applying for at the time, but did not have it yet. And he was taken into custody, taken to the police station, but was not arrested that day.
This is a wink crime from the police department. There's protection for Michigan football from the police, and I know the media gets accused of protection, but it's the police. They want to, Michigan's going to get away where he's not going to be suspended. He's going to be able to play the whole season. Where Emoni Bates, his thing came out, he couldn't play, and
if you remember Emoni Bates, who is the basketball star that
Eastern. But
that
it's
came
Eastern,
to
it's not
Eastern Michigan. Same thing, pulled over, traffic stop on gun charges, and he was suspended, correct?
Yes,
correct.
He's arrested and suspended immediately.
And in fact, Eastern, as of last week, they don't even allow him to speak at press conferences. He just plays his games and go home.
So this goes back to this goes back to the conversation that we had yesterday, as far as different strokes for different folks.
It is
the big blue.
And
wall.
I have experience with this.
You did.
I was the Michigan beat writer, and on my watch there was a gun charge against a player. I knew nothing about it. So when I found out, I called the Michigan coaches. They knew nothing about it. The police was basically, why do you want to know? I'm like, well, shoot, I cover Michigan football, and this dude has a gun. I think that's a story. So I couldn't get anything from them. Like, no one knew. Then I called my little sources, the Michigan Mafia. They knew everything. That's the way I was able to get the story. And then, of course, I had to say, sources, and then nobody believed me because the coaches wouldn't say anything, the police wouldn't say anything. But that's firsthand experience with the blue wall. And the blue wall, a lot of times, is with the blue police, because they want to make sure Michigan is intact. They want to make sure Michigan wins. And the other thing is, like, if Michigan State, this happened to Michigan State, if you had a source on the police department, you've got a good relationship, they'll call you and tell you about it. And then Washtenaw and the Ann Arbor police, I think they're more protective of that football program than they are in East Lansing.
Well, it obviously is. I mean, let's go back. I mean, just revisionist history. Didn't one of the basketball players have the AD's car and get in an accident, and that was sort of swept under the rug, and stuff like this. I think the biggest discrepancy is obviously different strokes for different folks, but there was no question of when this came out, but he did not suffer, the team did not suffer at all through this. And I think that I might be paraphrasing this at all, but the way that I heard it, the way that he handled it and stood up and called the coach and called Harbaugh and got in front of it, we're talking about Mazi Smith, that he was pretty much on the plane and played a game.
That's the excuse, that he did everything right, but the reality is they want to make sure that Smith plays. And so, this is swept under the rug for 2 months. So you're telling me that if he hadn't said anything, that this would have come out on October 7th? Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
This is a protection of the brand. Simple as that.
Well, does anybody else wonder that if this is being hit? See, I always think that, okay, if we're not finding out about this now, what else don't we know about?
You know what? I'll tell you what. I've been told that there's some stuff that happened with the Fab Five. How long that is? It hasn't come out.
Really?
Yeah, them with strip clubs and stuff like that never came out.
And that's the beauty of not having the cell phone generation back in the 90s.
That's right.
Loved
That's
it.
true.
Loved it. Thank
And
goodness.
So there was, they said that the statement by Ward Manuel and Jim Harbaugh and what the police told them about the situation was that he was very compliant with the police on the stop. He was not a harm or felt like he was a harm to himself or anyone else. And this was a victimless crime, so it gets shuffled down in the order that the prosecutors, look through cases. Because if it was something involving a victim, someone's injured, or property damage, then it's obviously higher priority than this. And that was the reasoning. And Jim Harbaugh and Ward Manuel both came out to say that, he will be playing with the team. He's still going to play. He's still being a part of the organization because they believe in Mazi Smith as the person.
All right, that's all fine and dandy, but here's my question. Why was it such a big deal with Emoni Bates? Why did we know immediately about Emoni Bates? Why was Emoni Bates suspended?
Yeah.
So my understanding is he was cooperative too.
Yeah, with Emoni Bates, the serial number was filed off the gun. That was the biggest difference, but it was the same situation. He was driving a car that wasn't licensed to him, didn't have his driver's license. Mazi Smith didn't have his driver's license, not properly handling your firearm. Very similar, but there are some differences in the case.
The difference is Emoni Bates doesn't play football at Michigan. That's the big difference.
Well, I think that's, even more apparent. And it's not like let's not act new, right? Like you even said, Terry, how long ago was this that you're talking about when you covered the team? This is 20 years ago?
Yes.
20. So you're talking 20 years ago, so things sort of haven't changed. Sam, you are, I will give you this. You take whatever it is, but when it comes down to it, you're pretty even keel as far as the thought process as a human being. So where do you stand with all this?
I mean, honestly, I wish that it would have came out right away and they would have just sat Mazi Smith for the Indiana game. Do you think they could have won that Indiana game without Mazi Smith? I certainly do. It's created a situation now where we're talking about the blue wall. We're talking about kind of Michigan being a little bit sneaky and skeevy about this, and it's just a distraction for a season that's been great, for a Big Ten championship game that's about to be played. So it's a little bit frustrating for me that I have to kind of answer about this, but at the same time, I get why. It doesn't look good from Michigan's standpoint, and it's just it would have been a layup to me if they would have just said, Mazi Smith was arrested, kind of gave a few details, and then sat him for the Indiana game, and then once more facts came out, we would have realized that it was more of an honest mistake. It obviously was still a crime, but something that wasn't terrible, a victimless crime, which was more of a misunderstanding than malicious of any kind.
Yeah, this is not an egregious crime by any means. Nobody is saying this guy is a felon. Nobody's saying any of that. It's just the length of time it took to come out puts the Michigan Big Blue Wall into question. And I agree with Sam. If they would have handled it that when it happened, suspended him for a game, it's over. Or it comes out today because as much as you don't like that it took 2 months to come out, the charges were filed yesterday. So that's what it is. And if Jim Harbaugh and Ward Manuel step up and say Mazi Smith will not be playing in the Big Ten championship game against Purdue because of these charges filed, I think a lot of it goes away.
But they didn't say that.
But they didn't say. They said he's participating.
He will be playing. Don't worry, Michigan. It will not affect the game tomorrow. Which again, right or wrong. And I think it's just because of different strokes for different folks. And it just like you said, Sam. I think that the fact is that because you're taught as an adult or as a human you're raised is that when you make a mistake, own up to it firsthand, get in front of it, show that you're sorry. No one's arguing about the direction.
But my understanding is the way it works is if a football player gets in trouble at Michigan, they get a call from the Ann Arbor Police or the Washtenaw County Police. Hey, Coach, how do we want to handle this?
And how many others? So it's not. And I understand happens. Michigan's not the only place this goes on.
No, it happens everywhere. Michigan denies that it happens there, but it does. It happens everywhere.
It does. It happens everywhere. What if you needed some power drink to power you through because you wanted to admit your guilt?
Well, if you need that power and you need to stay up and watch some things going on and keep up with this, all you have to do is grab a Cintron, because Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings. Cintron has combined all 3 of their delicious flavors into a limited edition 6-pack sampler box. Try Cintron's great tasting cranberry, classic, and sugar-free all in one pack. Pre-order your Cintron 6-pack sampler box today at cintronworld.com/Red Wings. Get energized with Cintron, and let's go Red Wings.
Love Woodward Sports? Love love wearing clothes, then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Goff, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
We've been telling you about Custom Health Centers and Dr. Jason, what he's done for our friend Ryan Ermanni on the final word / bottom line. Look at this guy go. You too, if you want to put the work in, give Custom Health a call. 844-789-8446 if you want to put the work in. Listen, the CHC is blessed to have over 20,000 success stories, 20,000 people like our own Ryan Ermanni, or maybe former Lions kicker Eddie Murray, or former bad boy Rick Mahorn. They're all doing the Custom Health lifestyle. Why don't you get it on it to Custom Health Centers? Give them a call today, 844-789-8446. Ask for Dr. Jason. He won't let you down. Big D Energy. Here we go. Here's the big question, Terry. Coming into this weekend, we talked about, oh, by the way, Cade McNamara, transfer portal. Iowa. Ooh. Wow. Watch out for that division next year.
Neal's going to have a field day with that
He's going to have a field day. What if Iowa doesn't Iowa? Unbelievable. But Big Ten Championship this weekend, we got Purdue. Terry brought up a great question when we were talking.
Are we even thinking about this game?
Obviously, I don't think we are.
We know it's going to be played.
The line's 17. Should there be any worry, Terry?
The only worry is if Michigan was so hyped up about spanking Ohio State that they come up with their heads up their asses. But it is for a title. And so I have to believe that they'll say, you know what, I know it's Purdue, but we still got to pay attention to these boys because it's dangerous. This is where upsets happen because the fan base is telling you not to worry. It's not being hyped up. You know Purdue's going to, even though they probably deep down know they don't have much of a chance, but they're still trying to believe that they have a chance in this game. This has all the not all the setup for an upset, but for a setup of a close game, and it doesn't have to be close. I mean, Michigan doesn't want it to be a one-score game midway through the fourth quarter because I found that in circumstances like that, anything can happen.
Well, we've seen that. I think more so. I'm not worried. I agree with Ethan Brown. The team sort of worry and they know task at hand about Purdue, but fans, we don't. I'm not worried about them not winning the game. What I'm concerned about more is do they come out of there healthy? Does somebody suffer injuries? I think maybe that's what I'm sensing, Spencer. Maybe pull it up.
Yeah.
Are you more concerned with coming out of there healthy than it is with the Big Ten Championship? Because no one seems to be worried about beating Purdue, even though what you brought up, Sam Flannel, because I will go to my text thread from Flannel at halftime of every freaking Michigan game this year, although your last game against Ohio State, you felt it turning, and that was more confidence even though you were down. But are you more concerned, or is there any concern at all that one of these won't Purdue, as Neal says, and you could lose this game?
I don't know if I'm concerned about losing, but I really do get the feeling as a fan that we're not even playing a game this weekend. And I think that's maybe a dangerous headspace to be in, but I'm not saying that the Michigan players are feeling that way. I mean, Purdue, they're, like I kind of said before, they're like kind of a poor to poverty man's Ohio State. They have a passing offense, Aidan O'Connell, Charlie Jones, their wide receiver. You can laugh all you want. He put up numbers that were every bit as good as Marvin Harrison Jr. But the thing is, Michigan just dismantled a better version of this Purdue offense, a much better version. That's Ohio State. They dismantled one of the most explosive offenses in the country. So I feel like Michigan should go out and win. They obviously have a huge dominance in the trenches and the running game on defense. It's just you can't let the passing offense for Purdue kind of make a few big plays and get confidence. So am I worried about them losing? No. Am I worried about them coming out a little flat and maybe a little lackadaisical? I could see that happening. They never play a good first half, like we always say.
Here's my only concern. Do you guys get a text from Flannel Sam at halftime?
Yes.
Oh, 100%. I have. See, here's the one thing that I'm sensing out of this Michigan team and where Jim Harbaugh, they know task at hand. Right, when they know that they had to beat Ohio State. I don't think this team's ahead of themselves. You know, I want to ask you, Terry, you've been around teams, and you felt this where the overconfidence. I've been part, and I don't think it's overconfidence, but maybe the media or going in to a series or a game that you're overconfident. We weren't overconfident in '95 playing New Jersey, right? But everybody had us as the Red Wings just thumping New Jersey, and what happened? They thumped us, right? So sometimes it's got, but this doesn't feel like that. This feels like task at hand. It almost feels like they know they have to play a great first half, so maybe they don't put the risk of getting guys injured and stuff like this. But seriously, does Purdue have enough to put, like, how many points on the board?
It's crazy. Like, college football is college football, and wild stuff happens all the time. I didn't think Illinois had enough, even without everything that Michigan was missing. I didn't think Illinois had enough to keep it close. After seeing Michigan State beat Illinois, I was like, all right, Michigan can beat Illinois even if they don't have 7 players that are starters for them. But I was going to put this in there, and Keaton Ruttinger beat me to the punch. Is the coach, Jeff Brom of Purdue, is 3-1 versus top 5 teams. And so, like, you know, we make the jokes like spoiler makers. Oh, they're Purdue. They can beat you. They've proven that they can beat the best of the best.
I saw that yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? I saw that yesterday. I think I said that to Sam Flannel. What's up with your boy Joel Klatt? You know, one of the biggest Michigan slappies out there. But he's like, whoa, pump the brakes. Brom, he's 3-1. Is that a concern?
I mean, a concern, I don't know if I would say a concern, but Purdue is one of those teams that kind of plays on a very wide spectrum. They can upset top 5 Ohio State, but then lose, like this year, I think they lost 24-3 to Iowa. They're kind of inconsistent. And if they come out and have one of their good games, or they have where their game plan's working, where they're actually getting some plays made with the passing game, I don't know. I think there might be some moments where I'm kind of nervous and sweating and maybe texting the group saying, like, this might be the week. But I still think that Michigan should win this game. They have too much talent. They're just the better team.
The 3-1 record doesn't mean anything to me for this one reason. It's one thing to play a top 5 team during the regular season. You can always catch somebody now and then. It's a different thing to play a top 5 team in a championship game, because that team, even though it may not respect you as much as it should, it knows everybody's watching. This is a huge game. It's for a trophy.
Yeah.
So I think the focus will be there.
The only thing for me is that Michigan has so much to lose, and Purdue doesn't have anything to lose. So Purdue's going to go out there, you know, letting it rip, playing loose, just going for it. And Michigan is going to be, as much as they know they are the better team, and rightfully so, they are the better team, obviously, it's going to be in the back of their minds that, like, we can't mess up, we can't make mistakes, we can't do this. And that's how things creep up. And when a team that like Purdue, who can sling it around the field, they have a good passing attack, as Sam Plano said, them playing loose, them have nothing to lose, you can see them, dropping back 40 times and just throwing the ball down the field.
But fellas, is there any reason for Michigan to be tight in this game?
No.
Because tightness can cause you...
Terry, you've been around this Michigan program, seen a lot. This Michigan team, to me, doesn't exude an overconfidence or the fact that they don't know task at hand. It's almost like that's what's built up over the 7 years of Jim Harbaugh, is that this is another, they won't, right, this year, because you've seen it in the past. You've had that experience.
But
and
the thing with Michigan is they're looking for the bigger fish. They're looking at Georgia and TCU and Alabama and Ohio State. Purdue should be beneath them.
Yes.
If you're aspiring to compete with these other teams, Purdue is like, okay, that's a stepping stone.
So should this maybe even more so be a statement game for Michigan? Like to continue it?
I don't think they can make a statement other than they're not there yet. Even if you beat Purdue 40-3. And that's what they did to Iowa last year.
Yep.
Right.
What did it matter? It didn't.
Nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can make a statement against. You made your statement against Ohio State. The only statement now you can make now is you're not that good. If it's a tight game or Purdue wins.
But aren't you guys confident?
Yeah.
Confident in the fact that you mentioned Purdue could throw the ball, but Michigan can defend the throw. Right? They could defend it, but look at what they did last week against the number one receiver in the country. I'm just saying that your strengths, where you're healthy, has you doing and taking care of this game. I don't see overconfidence. What do you want to see that's been different for the first half? Because obviously if they can take care of the first half, then maybe they can rest some guys. They don't have to put guys in certain situations. What are you looking for your team to do out of the gate?
I mean, I would like for them to obviously score on the first drive and then have some consistent, sustained drives. Michigan has had a problem with going up 7-0 and then punt, and then at halftime it's like 13-3 or 13-10. I would like to see them just kind of step on Purdue's throat from the beginning, because if you're Michigan, if you're clearly the better team, a team like Purdue might wilt once they're punched in the mouth, once they realize, oh shit, we're playing Michigan, a team that they have not faced all season, the best team they will have faced all season. So just get on them early and don't let up. For once, this is Big Ten season.
You know what I want to see? And this is a perfect game to do it. Can we get some red zone efficiency? Right?
Yes.
That's our biggest. That's the one thing, right? We've proven all year long we can get there. And we got a great kicker and stuff, but in order to win and to get to that next level of real championships or winning in the playoffs, you're going to have to be a hell of a lot better in the red zone. So why not start it this week to gain the confidence?
I think an important thing is Michigan is the better team in the second half. And I don't think there's adjustments they make. I think what's happened is the offensive line and that running game wears people down. And at a certain point, you out there on the field like, damn, here they come again. Now, all I want to see in the first half is them running that ball, and wearing Purdue down. Because if they do that, then there's going to be that point sometime in the second half. Purdue is going to, don't want to say give up, but just kind of say, okay, where are we? Why are we here? Can we go home?
Yeah, I fully expect Michigan to go out there and win, 41-24 or something like that.
Their will.
And that is the great. As much as I am just playing devil's advocate, and I do think even though it's a championship game, it's harder for players to get as excited to play against Purdue than they did against Ohio State in Columbus. It's the great equalizer, like Terry said, is the running game in that offensive line, and they're going to go out there and dominate. And if you want something that dominates the market of lobster, all you got to do is hit up Cousins Maine Lobster, because Woodward Sports loves lobster. And what better way to get your fix than Cousins Maine Lobster? With 2 trucks rolling around Detroit, you can be sure to find the best lobster rolls, lobster tops, lobster tacos, and that banging lobster grilled cheese to power you through the day. Go to cousinsmainlobster.com to find the schedule and where they're going to be. Cousins Maine Lobster, I'm telling you guys, we had it firsthand. Stuff is the bomb, so check them out.
The bomb.
It's good, and they use lobster, too.
They do use lobster.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuffa Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward in Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff a Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You can get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
DMAC here, Guardian Alarm keeps you safe and gives you peace of mind whether you're home or on the road for your personal or your business with their 24/7 local monitoring. So if you want to be part of the Woodward Sports Big D Energy family, you can be. But I need you to call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Guardian Alarm, your local security expert. They've been protecting the flannel for how long?
168 straight days.
168 straight days. If you want that kind of personal protection, give Guardian Alarm a call today. 1-800.
Stay out.
Get out
Stay out
of my
the end
house.
zone, Trevor Lawrence.
Absolutely. Stay out of the end zone, Trevor Lawrence. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Tell them, Big D Energy, we sent you.
I probably am starting Trevor Lawrence in fantasy, though, so.
Absolutely. Big D Energy, Darren McCarty, T. Foss, Spencer Raxter, Flannel Sam here on a Friday. Getting ready for a Big Ten championship weekend. We got the Lions in a pickle at home this weekend against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, big game. A lot of us think that these are two teams about in the same position to sort of mirror each other. One of the things, I guess, the little caveats that we're getting into to this game is our second overall pick, Aidan Hutchinson, who's, do we agree he's putting together a fine rookie campaign?
Yes.
He is.
Yes.
He's putting
No
together
question.
a fine rookie campaign that you see he's the benefactor, that he's learning as he's going. The more reps, we see him. The engine's always the same and going harder. But you always wonder, do guys realize where they got drafted and who was picked ahead of them? Well, Jacksonville made the first overall pick, Travon Walker. Does Aidan Hutchinson, is he aware of this, Spenny, at all?
He
Do you
is.
think he is aware of this at all?
He is. We have from Tim 20Men, he says, Aidan Hutchinson said he thought he'd be a Jaguar and the number 1 overall picks for months leading up to the drafts, as did a majority of the population. Said it'll be in the back of his mind this week as the Lions face the one team that passed on him in the draft.
Now, seeing as I'm the professional athlete up here and I've been drafted, maybe I will address this and say...
Yeah, how many people were picked ahead of you?
45.
Okay.
45 people picked ahead of me. I will say, so when I got drafted in the second round, 46 overall by the Detroit Red Wings, that's the team that I wanted to go to. Obviously, growing up across the border, give or take 10 minutes for the border, my house was 40 minutes to Joe Louis Arena, right? So I grew up in the Dead Wing as a Red Wings fan, right? So I got picked by the team I wanted. But I was pissed they didn't take me as their first round pick.
Who did they pick?
They took Curtis Bowen, who has also played he was a left winger that played in Ottawa. He was younger. Have you heard of Curtis Bowen? No, absolutely. So what I'm trying to say is that because I didn't think, because you know why? And a lot of times too, the speculation why would Hutchinson think he's going? I thought that if I didn't go to Detroit in the last, they picked late in the first round, that Ottawa was going to pick me with their first pick in the second round. Right, so a lot of the information you get from your agents or what they're telling you is what you're being fed. Like if they pass you here, you're probably going to go here. So I didn't think I'd last to Detroit. But what you want to do as an athlete is prove everybody wrong, right? You always have that mindset. The one thing that's different. So in the back of his mind, he's going to try to get to Trevor Lawrence and stuff like this. But it's that competition and it's that competitive factor about being the best. I didn't expect to be better. It's just you go out and play then. You just wanted the opportunity. So hopefully, right, can we agree that Aidan Hutchinson, his play, we've seen him, obviously not over pursue as much. He's using that engine to his benefit. You almost expect him to get in the backfield and get a sack on Trevor Lawrence because he's talking about it too. So if he's thinking about it, it means something to him.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, and Aidan
I would suspect that he gets a sack. But it's not like he was drafted 15th or 16th. He has a lot of people that he's pissed about. He just has one guy. And so he'll focus on that one guy. He'll get Trevor Lawrence at some point.
And sometimes, guys, it's not you're pissed. It's just you're motivated because you want to prove that somebody didn't think that you were as good as you were. He disrespected me, or they disrespected me. Or you don't know behind the scenes what he was told or what he was promised. I mean, a lot of times, up top they want to throw off the signals and stuff like this. So,
and I just know when the Lions didn't get the number one pick, that
was good.
No, I thought the people around here said, "Okay, you're not getting Aidan Hutchinson. Who's next?"
I really, really thought Aidan Hutchinson was going number 1 overall.
But if you remember the draft, right, it was like the 11th hour, or the 12th hour that Jacksonville pulled the trigger on Walker.
Because we kept hearing rumors. Hutch is going to Jacksonville.
No, I mean right down to the end of there. So I guess the transparency is sometimes, guys, when you hear it, because Aidan Hutchinson's telling you himself the fact that he thought he was going number 1. So obviously people, not only just the media, but behind the scenes were sort of telling him that too. I'm sure he's happy that he's come here. But do you look at this game? Because I don't look at this game as much as the head-to-head of our first rounder as I did against the Giants and Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Right? As the fact, was that more of a comparison? Or are you going to keep an eye out, but it doesn't matter because you couldn't have chosen Walker?
Yeah, I'm with you on that because if Hutchinson was gone, Kayvon was going to be the pick for the Lions. That was they told him they're like, we're going to take you if you're there for us.
But that doesn't mean anything. A lot of times athletes are told, I'm going to pick you, and they don't get picked.
Yeah, but
now the last thing we heard is that Dan Campbell didn't want Thibodeau.
Yeah.
So, but once again, we don't know if that's true, but it came out.
It did come out, and they
didn't pick him.
He's not a Dan Campbell guy, and Hutch was. And Hutch was the right pick, obviously. But what it means to me is Penei Sewell back at practice yesterday, expecting him to practice today. I'm ready to see Penei Sewell put Travon Walker in a bread box. I'm ready to see him manhandle that guy around the field.
So that's where you're seeing that's the matchup. You want to see your first rounder against their first rounder from the offense to the defense to see what you're building moving forward. Where was it? That guy, 62. This is classic. He said, Hutch and I took that personally. I love it. I love it. But that's the matchup, right? Mm-hmm. Right, for perennial, so Penei Sewell and the fact that, back out there. And from what I've been told from the football circles, T, you've spent a lot more time, is that Thursday's the practice. Like, you want to see guys out there, Friday, you want them at least be limited.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So you're pretty confident that Sewell's going to play then?
Yes. And this is what I'm trying to figure out. Is Dan Campbell resting guys needlessly during the week? He played in the NFL, and maybe he's one of those guys that wants to give his guys rest if he feels they're the least bit injured. And but different coaches have different philosophies. I mean, like a Bill Belichick, you can have a broken arm, you're going to play. But Dan Campbell, it seems like there's always a bunch of guys that are not practicing on Wednesday and sometimes on Thursdays, but they play on Sunday.
Yeah, and then it's sort of like the norm. And I don't mind that as long as you're getting, sort of the best effort. Because frankly, the results and the effort we're getting on the field works out, right? He needs just to improve the coaching aspect and putting the guys in the position.
I think he's trying to figure out with each individual, what's more important for this guy, a day of practice or a day of rest? And he's evaluating everybody every week, and he's making those decisions best on there. And what we're doing, and maybe it's a mistake, is we're looking at it like, oh, then there's something wrong, he's not going to play, because that's typically the way it works in the NFL. But Dan Campbell is a guy that appears to me that, he's making a lot of evaluations, and he'll keep the whole damn team out for a practice if he thinks it's worth it.
I agree. It's it's what it comes down to is those guys down in the trenches. Those big boys down there.
And most of them, for the most part, are veteran guys, right? So guys, to the fact that going about it differently, maybe this is part of the game plan that we saw in Hard Knocks, where he's trust me guys, we go hard early, and we were questioning the injuries, to maybe the idea is during the season, I'm going to lengthen it out. So at the end of the day, I don't think the way that he's coached them at practice or giving them rest or whatever, I think he's done a good job that way, because the result on the field, guys coming out playing hard and at least sort of, for the most part, being available.
Yeah, availability is what it's all about. And when you got those big boys down in the trenches, you need to, keep them healthy. And
big boy.
Speaking of big boy, you can get a big boy right now. And for a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries are at Big Boy. It's not the Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease, and guess what else is new? The bacon blue. Don't forget about upgrading those fries. They got chili cheese fries. They got nacho fries, and as much as Neal downplays them, they got the banger of all bangers, the baked potato fries. So make sure you go check them out and satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Goff, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D, with spotless sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. You can join the Pepper Club for all the best deals, and they'll beat all competitors by $5. Don't forget to pick up Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Cal Tan, and my favorite, the Swedish Beauty Lotion. ChiliPeppersTanning.com, the hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans, your vitamin D headquarters, 27 locations and more coming. It's Chili Peppers Tanning, y'all. Chili Peppers Tan.
Attaboy, Spenny. Spend more racks, Sam Flannel, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster here, Big D Energy. Top of the hour, turning it over. 12 o'clock on this Friday. Welcome in. We're just talking a little bit of Lions. Lions got the Jacksonville Jaguars. The line is a pick'em as of right now, straight up. Now let's talk. Time. Keys to the game.
Well, you know, I don't want to do keys to the game, but I'll tell you this, a bigger picture. This game is going to tell me if this is the same old Lions. That's the thing I'm looking for, because the Lions just played this wonderful game against Buffalo, and what has typically happened with the Lions is they would actually beat a team like Buffalo. They did against Dallas. They've done it against Green Bay. They've done it against other teams who were on a roll. And the next week, they'd lay an egg. So Taylor Decker was saying, this is not the same old Lions. We're different. We're going to get our respect. This is the game where you do that. It's not the Buffalo game, because the Lions do that periodically. What they don't do is they don't follow up. So I want to see if they're going to follow up and win this game. I don't care if it's 3-2. Just win the damn game.
Well,
that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, well, a couple things that Jacksonville, they have big thing going for them is their big win last weekend where their quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, who's supposed to be the next coming, got it done. He's playing with a lot of confidence, but yet they lost one of their best running back in Travis Etienne, so you won't have to go to that. To me, when I look at this game, the first thing that I look to is the coaches. I look at Doug Peterson and Dan Campbell, and it worries me a little bit because I consider, obviously, Doug Peterson's won a Super Bowl with Philadelphia. Some of the things he's trying to change the culture in Jacksonville. The first thing I go is, can Dan Campbell and the Lions stay out of their own way? Or is it going to be, like you said, same old Lions in that aspect? As far as on the field, right, the execution and stuff like that is pretty much, do you expect more to see? Are we seeing the same out of DeAndre Swift? We're not playing as much. Jamal Williams is number one back, gets the majority of the runs. What are we going to see? What type of game?
I look at Swift now as a gimmick back now. I mean,
he's almost like Theo Riddick, isn't he?
Right. He'll carry the ball 5 or 6 times, and he may do something in those 5 or 6 times, but you need a back 15 carries, 4 quarters. That's what you need your number one back. You're not getting that from DeAndre Swift, and I don't know if it's because of injuries or if coaches are like, okay, we got to find a way to get him to the end of the season. But just play the dude. Play him. See what he's got.
Play Swift no matter what? Because doesn't it seem to me with Swift, it's sort of like you got kid gloves on. It's like he's an antique.
Right, but you're not playing meaningless games. You're playing games that matter, even though you're 4-7. So if he's your main cog, use it.
No, absolutely. How about, obviously we're all excited. The big talk this week has been Jameson Williams coming back into practice and stuff like that. Do we expect to see him, Spenny? Yeah. Or is it because everything out of Dan, it's everything you hear out of Dan Campbell is, not sure, might need the reps, don't see that. If anybody's seen him run, and we mentioned it yesterday, do we have video of him in pads running yet?
Yes, we do. I can grab that.
Yeah, will you grab that? Because I wanted to get Terry, because Terry yesterday, right? What did you say when we got excited to see Jameson Williams on the court?
What NFL teams do is they unveil their prize with no pads on, so you can see how fast they are.
It's almost like the auto show.
You're right.
Seriously, the NFL with their speedy guys, it's almost like the auto show. We got to unveil. Yeah, this guy or whatever. Do we?
And those cars may not have motors in them.
Absolutely. All right, Spenmo, for the viewing audience out there. Oh, he's got shoulder pads.
He's got
and
the
stuff
shoulder
on.
pads
half the pads on.
Hats and shells.
Is that how they do it, Terry? Then they go half, and then half more.
Yep.
So
it's usually the way they do it.
Look
and
at
then
the way
at some
he burns
point,
that guy.
when he's really about to play and it's not about showing off, he's in full pads doing his thing.
Look at how he burns. Amon-Ra even points at him. He's like, Jesus Christ, that kid's fast. I'm excited. Selfishly, very selfishly, he's playing. I'm playing the fight. Dan Campbell said it would take a lot for Jameson Williams and Romeo Okwara to play. Both of them as a piece.
So you're going with the fact that don't expect the Quora.
Yes.
Right? You're going to be so bitter, too, when the Quora trumps out there and there's no Jamos on the sideline.
I would be pretty upset about that.
Can we agree, though, that whether he does or he doesn't, as long as there's no chance in him getting re-injured?
Yeah. The guy's 110%. He's been chomping at the bit. He's not a big tweeter. Not very active in the Twitterverse, but he tweeted a couple times. And he's
what'd he say?
Here, let me see.
Get it up there. Let's read between the lines, boys.
If you're tweeting, it means you're playing.
Terry, doesn't it? Because here's the one thing. The excitement factor of if he is out there, what are they got? How are they going to be different? Because we've talked about this every time we brought it up. He's a player that this team has never had with that skill set and that explosiveness.
Right. Well, they had Calvin Johnson, and no, they're different players, but you had to account for Calvin Johnson. You have to account for Jameson Williams. And they may not, I'm talking about Jacksonville, if he plays against them, they may not alter their defense because of him, because they're not expecting him to play, or this is his first time, and they don't really know what he can do, but they're going to find out during the game. We'll see what type of halftime adjustments
Speak
they
about
have.
that. There's no tape. There's no practice tape.
There's no
tape. You go back to college and stuff.
College don't count. It doesn't count.
But here's the thing. Does that, for the Lions, if they're able to, or when they're able to run him out there, does it, to your point, does it almost give them a free...
It's like a wild card.
Tape on them?
Now, when you play, I don't know, what's your little games you like to play when you play cards?
Play cards?
Mm-hmm.
Euchre.
Hold them.
Okay. Do you have the Joker?
No, but okay, you want to play a game with the Joker? You want to play... let's play hearts.
He's their wild card or Joker.
Oh, he's the Queen of Spades.
There you go.
He's the Queen of Spades and hearts.
Right.
You can slam that baby down 13 points on somebody, look out.
So you don't really know what that card can do yet, but
you know it's valuable.
You know it's valuable, and by a month, everybody's going to know what he can do. He's either stretching defenses or he's just another fine player.
Well, I'm more interested in the conversation we got into yesterday is you know, I put the poll up there. Are you more excited of the stats that he's going to put up, or what he brings to the rest of the offense and how much he makes everybody around them better?
That's a tough question.
Well, again, because you can't answer it until you see it in
But
motion.
my gut is saying that he's going to struggle early. He may drop some balls early, but teams are going to still say, okay, I got to adjust my defense for him. So I would say right now, today, I'm more excited about what it's going to do for other players. Because football is a team sport. I know it's boring, but it's true. And if you have people playing out of position, you can get Swift going, or Jamal Williams or Armand St. Brown may have more room. Or maybe St. Brown is not going to be scrutinized as much by defenses as he is now. By the way, he's still getting open, so I mean, St. Brown may have no one near him. Who knows?
Oh, God. Imagine Amon-Ra St. Brown with even more space to work in the middle, because he's already one of the best, in my opinion, possession, kind of like short and intermediate route runners in the NFL, that kind of receiver. So if Jameson Williams can open up the field even more for Amon-Ra St. Brown, this offense could go to a next level. It could add sort of this like explosive element. You'd have to account for Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams. Obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown is more of a known, and Jameson Williams still hasn't played. But I'm confident that moving forward, we've got our wide receiver duo of the future, and they complement each other so well, at least their skill sets. I'm kind of with Spencer here. I'm ready to see Jamo play. I'm ready to kind of like watch what this offense can be. I mean, when's the last time we've really had an exciting offense in Detroit? It's been a long time. Cannot wait.
Unleash.
D-Mac, I want to put you in the Wayback Machine. Let's go back 2 months. Here's what we're hearing. Lions don't even need Jameson Williams because their offense is so good.
Yep.
But look how things change. Teams adjust. You adjust. And the offense isn't clicking as much. Now, I also want to educate people who don't think defense is important. When the Lions had the number one offense in the NFL, they were 1-6. Now that we're seeing that this defense is somewhat tolerable, they're actually winning some games.
Yeah.
So, you can run it up and down the field and score as many points as you can. But if everybody else is scoring at the same clip or even better, you're not going to win games.
Just look at the Seahawks game. That's Exhibit A, right? They scored 45, but they allowed Seattle to have 48. And that's one of those games that we might look back on this year at the end of the season as a missed opportunity. So, the defense being better, I think, makes us even more excited about Jameson Williams, because I think there was a time where it's like, man, we could have really used a guy on defense like a Jordan Davis, and our offense is fine without Jameson Williams. But we know it's kind of coming back to the mean. The offense is good, not elite, and that defense, it's better. Jameson Williams could really take this team to another level.
Yeah, against the Seahawks, that defense was really full of holes, Sam. Kind of like
full of holes, kind of like Swiss cheese. Or a ham and Swiss, but we can't talk about that right now because we got to talk about Swiss Insurance. With the holiday season here, Swiss Insurance wants to remind you to insure those gifts of jewelry or collectibles. In the last 2 weeks, Swiss has saved its clients an average of 26% on their insurance premiums while increasing coverage. That's a lot of money to free up for the giving season. Happy Thanksgiving from Swiss Insurance, and my favorite part, go blue.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Goff, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Downtown Detroit is all decked out this holiday season with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway. The Midway has a giant slide, winter bumper cars, and an indoor arcade, plus you can grab drinks at the Lodge before or after games. Shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long with Decked Out Detroit, or you can visit them online at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Welcome back, Big D Energy here. Good Friday to you. Moving along.
And Darren's got something up his sleeve.
I do. I got a question that hasn't been asked. Terry even said that he was titillated. Now, I'm not even going to look that up, but I know that it means that I've piqued his interest. But this question goes out, and I haven't heard it asked, right? But this goes out to the Spenmo Raxes of the world. And if you don't know which part of the Spenmo Rax, not the drinking part of him, not the eating part, not the jolly old St. Nick, but to the Goff hater part of it. My question to you and to the woodwardsports.com chat, is it possible that Jameson Williams could bring your faith back in Jared Goff to be your quarterback? Does he have enough? Because what you're telling me and what I'm hearing as the way that he's going to affect the offense, not only with his ability, but what he can bring to other people. Well, Jared Goff, we're talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown, we're talking about DeAndre Swift. Will Jared Goff be a recipient of the talent of Jameson Williams?
Bro, he's good. He's not God.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm wondering, do we need... This is just a question that I wonder. Do people think that because of this... Now, Spencer...
Yes.
Your response would probably be, yo, bro, if he could get him the ball, then maybe I would. But is there... Has it crossed your mind anything at all?
It's definitely going to help him. It's definitely going to... Bringing in more weapons will help him, but it's not going to change my mind. I've seen what Goff can do with top flight receivers. You've seen what Goff can do.
But have you seen him with has he had a guy like... I'm just saying, are you open?
Brandon Cooks in his prime, when he was on the Rams, was pretty damn fast.
Okay,
Robert Woods was pretty damn fast.
I can concur with that. So the fact that would help. I just wonder out there, does anybody in the chat thread, has this crossed their mind? Right?
You know
it's the
what's
same
gonna happen?
thing as that the offensive line has protected him better. His running game has helped him out more. I guess, what more do you need for him? So you two, Sam, is it a viable question, or is this like J.J. McCarthy for Heisman?
I mean, it's a viable question to some extent, because if Jameson Williams is all that we think he will be, Jared Goff's numbers are going to go up. He is going to improve, because having that good of a receiver just helps quarterbacks. The big question is whether he is the quarterback that's going to take us to the level that we all want to go to, which is eventually, get to the Super Bowl and win it. I think with Jameson Williams here, he might kind of be the Band-Aid on a lot of Jared Goff's sins. Like, I think Jared Goff might complete a crossing route, and Jamo could actually take it to the house. I think what Jameson Williams can do for Jared Goff and the Lions is something like what Justin Jefferson did to Kirk Cousins. Make him look a little bit better than he actually is, but the Vikings are winning with Kirk Cousins. So this could create kind of a problem, or maybe a good problem to have in the future.
There it is. See, there's twofold, right? Thank you, Sam.
All right, fellas, I like to be short and succinct.
Can Jameson Williams have the Jamar Jefferson effect on Jared Goff like Jamar Jefferson does on Kirk Cousins? Here's the whole point, guys. If you see something, what did Terry talk about before the break? He was talking about defense, right? So if you tag it all in, Neal's not here, but his draft capital and salary cap and all that schmozzle, nozzle, dazzle, whatever, you have more money to spend on your defense.
Weird that you say that, D-Mac, because just
you know
so
what's
happens...
We're going to...
No, it is... Oh, my gosh! Straight out from on the sand to snow tour. Ladies and gentlemen from the downtown streets, are you in the metropolis of Syracuse? Or where are you?
No, we're in Fort Wayne.
Ooh! There's a good Hooters there. There's a good Hooters in Fort Wayne. I do know that.
They got the Hooters in Fort Wayne.
Oh! Well, obviously, I haven't been there in a while. How are you doing, ladies and gentlemen?
Hooters update. It has been closed here in Fort Wayne.
Thank you very much. That's why Neal is not out there doing Oakland basketball. He's on Hooters update. Ladies and gentlemen, our fearless leader, the heel Neal, Mr. Neal Ruhl, joining us from Fort Wayne. Neal, did you hear my question?
I did not. What was it?
My question was Cole's notes. Can Jameson Williams have the effect on Jared Goff like Jamar Jefferson has on Kirk Cousins? And what I'm saying to that, I just got into a roundabout way because Terry was talking about the defense. But in your salary cap, if he makes Goff a little bit better, doesn't that give you more money to spend on the defense? And do you think that, I guess, could happen? Will he make Goff better or everybody else around him better?
Yeah, because I think we saw that with Goff before. When he had Brandon Cooks with the Rams, he didn't have any problems getting the ball to him down. And look, Spenmo and I, we have similar opinions on Goff, but at the same time, we are different than that. And look, make no mistake, when I say this, I'm not saying this from the standpoint of Goff's an all-pro, just get him the right people and everything like that. Goff is what he is. We have the data points on him. He is what he is. And Jameson Williams changes some things, certainly, especially. I'll ask you guys this, because as I jumped on, I saw people talking about Jamo, and I guess you guys played some video of Jamo earlier in the show. Is Jameson Williams acceleration video, is that like the new porn with sports fans?
It is for me.
Yeah, me too.
Well, hey, listen, it's not strictly porn because he was wearing shoulder pads, so we got half the uni on, but yes. Because it's, but Neal, we've never seen this beautiful of a baby before in our life with this speed this is like the auto show, bringing out the greatest and latest and greatest, and it's ours.
Yeah, I can already predict the future. Neal's gonna come in and say, did you see Jared Goff underthrew Williams again? And the Lions gonna say, oh no, that was a back shoulder fade. What are you talking about?
No, but hey, again, you guys know where I stand on Goff. It doesn't change with Jameson Williams where I stand. Like, he's serviceable. He's a 25% discount to market. It doesn't change. I know that's cold and analytic, and I know Terry hates money, and people are going to give me crap about it. And Easy doesn't understand the world, as we were talking about earlier this week. His contract is very escapable. It's maximum flexibility. It is, and it doesn't change. Nothing changes.
Easy is mad at you, by the way.
Why?
Now, he claims, and I looked this up, I don't think it's true, but you can confirm this, Jared Goff is the 4th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. You take it away.
Yes, because Easy, sometimes, I'm starting to think maybe Easy isn't intelligent enough to look at the entire data points that are available to him.
I'll agree with that.
In terms of cap hit this year, yes, because all these mega extensions that were signed by Rodgers, by Russell Wilson, all of it, all have very cap-friendly numbers at the front. They're all backloaded. So that's why. When you look at everything in totality, that's the way it is. Goff's the biggest thing for me with Goff's contract is that escapability. You can blow the hatch on it and be done with it with very minimal damage to what's going on. As opposed, look, just to give you a frame of reference, again, Aaron Rodgers, if he retired, not even if the Packers trade him or cut him, if he wakes up tomorrow and says, you know what, I'm done, that's a $99 million cap hit for the Packers to deal with next season that gets accelerated. They're married to him. No matter what happens, they cannot escape him. And they're at his mercy as a franchise. I mean, think about that. They're sunk. So, again, with the Goff thing, it's very easy. If a better opportunity presents itself, they can chuck the deuces up and just hit, hey, Jared Goff, appreciate you, but peace. That's it.
Yeah, my data, I have him at 10th. Is the 10th highest paid quarterback. That still may not be accurate, but that's the best I come up with. So
still not worth it.
Again, it all depends on cap hit versus cash versus salary and all that kind of stuff. But as you go on in time, you look at these mega hits that all these quarterbacks are. And by the way, none of those moves work. And I'll tell you guys this too. Like we talked about, the fantasy land Lamar Jackson stuff, right? The more and more I think about it, the more and more nervous I would get about something like that too, just based on the Russell Wilsons and none of these mega quarterback trades have worked. And not only have they sunk you in terms of the money you're paying the quarterback, look at the capital that you gave up to get him. It's like a dual-edged sword. So
that's again, a good point.
When you look around the landscape, and I know Spencer, this hurts you. It hurts you emotionally, physically, and spiritually.
It does.
When you look across the landscape, it's more and more appealing to me because he gives you the flexibility to build a monster roster.
But shouldn't you, Spencer? Here's the thing I'm telling you. It can only get better, can it not, with a Jameson Williams in the lineup to that gives a security blanket more. You're putting players around Goff like everything else. Where would you rather be? Would you rather be the Packers Denver with Russell Wilson's contract. There's so many you're in such a good spot. I think if you take the 30,000-foot view of it,
it's
money, bro.
I've said it, like I'm cool with Goff this year. I'm cool even as much as I don't want to watch games of it with Goff next year. Like, I understand what that is, but what gets me is when people will say that he's the quarterback for the future, which just isn't true.
I still think there is a chance he could be.
Oh.
Now, if you're asking me, is he the quarterback of the future? No. But could he be? Yeah, I think they can play that out.
It's options.
Because I see Easy in the WoodwardSports.com chat. Neal talking about re-signing Jared Goff again. I'm so lost. No, you're lost, Easy. They don't have to re-sign him. He signed for another couple years with zero financial implications. Get educated, bro. Like, understand what's going on. Understand how the real world. I know you're young and everything, Easy, and the Easies of the world. He signed. He's locked in. And you don't have to do anything. No one's talking about re-signing him or anything. He's already signed.
It's options. And anyways, it gives it options. Benny, give us an option if we were talking about money, baby.
Yeah, Neal, appreciate you for joining us, man. Have fun.
Absolutely, guys. Hey, yeah, he's got options.
Can pass like Stockton for sure.
Thanks, Neal.
There you go.
And Neal is my capologist.
Yeah. And if you want options in where you're going to find athletic apparel, you only need one option. And that is Moneyball Sportswear. Because you can check out Moneyball Sportswear. It's your one-stop shop, whether you want the latest look in athletic apparel or you need new uniforms for your team. Moneyball has it all. Stop in Moneyball showroom in Southfield and experience the only way to ball, or visit moneyballsportswear.com. It's Moneyball, the only way to ball.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Goff, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Goff, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Planet Fitness is the official studio sponsor of Woodward Sports, also home of the judgment-free zone where you can work out for only $10 a month or upgrade to the Black Card for unlimited guest privileges, hydro massage, and more. Join in club today or go to planetfitness.com. I'm growing up, I get to do this again. It's Planet Fitness where D-Mac.
Your fitness is essential. Nice job. All right, Big D Energy, thanks to our fearless leader on the road. Down at Fort Wayne.
Yeah, he knows that Hooters is closed, so he's not that happy about it.
Yeah, that's what I say. Oh, it's going to be a tough day for Neal. Catch him doing all the Oakland Grizzly basketball on this road trip. But now, guys, even though Neal's not here, we're going to do it. It's time for our guy over at Feldman Automotive in Nova. You know him, you love him, the sales manager, Mr. Ryan Palter. Hey, we're sitting here, bud. Way to go. You got a win last week, kid.
Yay.
Yeah, Michigan pulled out.
It wasn't actually me. That was George. George got the win.
Oh, there you go.
But you're working as a team.
He must be in the leadership role. He's pawning things off. But as we've seen, just for a little bit for the people at home, Ryan and his conglomerate of pickers, whoever he has a record going into this week of 12-8, followed by Neal, who's in third at 18, 11-1. T-Foss, you and I are.
18.
What's that?
I got a lovely record of 12-18, not 12-8.
12 and 18.
12 and 18.
Did I say 12 and 8?
No, yeah, he's below 500.
No, he's 12 and 18.
But you said 12 and 8, bro.
Well, I was just checking to see if he was going to be honest. See, there's the honesty out of the sales department right there. I'm just trying to tell you, when you go to Feldman, you're going to get legitimacy. You stand up to it. You take accountability that you're 12 and 18 on the season. Neal is 18, 11-1. Terry is 12, 8-2, and I am 21 and 9.
How am I 12, 8-2?
Because you got 2 ties.
I know, but 12, I'm way above 500 than that,
12, 8-2. That's what Neal says on the. I just read
That's
it,
wrong.
Terry. Take it up with him.
Terry.
You're in second place.
Scam on you.
I have 21 of 30 picks, 70%. Anyways, what are your picks this week? Where are you going, bud? And are they your picks, or is it one of your cronies over there?
They are my picks. We've consulted together. We've decided to take it as a team effort this week. I've let the people down the last couple of weeks, and glad to be back on air, though. I can tell you that it was a rough couple of weeks there for me. But listen, where we're starting out is we're going Denver at Baltimore, picking Baltimore -8. Listen, it's always a good bet to bet on Baltimore after a frustrating loss. Denver comes in at 0-5 on true road games, and just lost by double digits to Carolina. Denver's D has been on the field way too much because Russ just wants to ride. So I got
Russ is done.
Baltimore.
Russ is done.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We need to recount all this stuff because 3 weeks ago I was in a virtual tie with Darren.
3 weeks ago you were 15, 7-2. Then you were 17, 8-2. Now you're 28 and 2.
No, you said 12, 8
No, I
and
said
2.
28 and 2.
Okay.
You're second place.
All right. Because I want to know how
my
I go
8s,
5.
18s,
I go
and 20s
5
are
and
too
1.
loud.
Too many shots to the head.
Yeah, it must have been because I've gone 5 and 1 the last 2 weeks and have fallen
Terry, you're
6
in second
games.
place, and I think by average you're right on my heels.
6 more games behind Darren. That's mathematically impossible. But you corrected yourself as 20.
I misspoke. I must have said it in Canadian. You have 20 wins, Terry, and 2 ties.
You know what? He does speak Canadian sometimes. I don't understand Canadian talk.
Anyway, so you got -8. I'm interested. Here, I'm interested in this one. You also have Boise -3, right?
Yeah, we have Fresno at Boise with Boise -3. Listen, Boise has torched Fresno in their last 2 meetings. Yes, Hander did not play the last time, but he did play last year on November 6th and only mustered up 14 points. The weather's going to play in Boise's favor, and I mean, Boise scored 40 points the last 2 times. It's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a blowout. So we're picking Boise -3.
Can I give you a little piece of advice? Leave those West Coast games. Well, it's not West Coast, but leave those Western games alone. Only Neal can pull that off.
Goes to Neal.
Yeah.
I'm diving in. I got it.
All right.
I like your. Hey, and here's your last pick tells you what you think as far as the BCS and who's going to make it. So you do have one of these teams that tough game, but you're going with
TCU -2.5. TCU is 8-2-1 against the spread this year. This is basically a home game for them, playing in Texas. And they beat K-State by 10 back on October 22nd.
Law of averages
Guarantees TCU a spot in the college football playoffs.
I hope he's right because I picked that game too.
Amen. See, I'm going to segue that segues into Terry because Terry says he hopes you're right because Terry's also picked TCU -2.5 to go along with. You're a big believer in
the Wolverines, right? You know, I'll pull the. I'm not really a big believer in Michigan. I just don't believe in Purdue.
I just believe, boy, that Purdue's gonna Purdue.
Right. That was a great impression of Neal.
And Terry's got
for Michigan against the opposing teams.
Right, that's true.
Terry's got TCU -2.5, Michigan -17, and also Minnesota -3.
I don't know why I always pick the Vikings at home, but I do. It's just I just have faith in them.
Every time the Michigan spread has been -17 and someone has picked them on this pick'em game, they've lost.
All right. Well, you know what? Until now, because I also have Michigan -17, believing that Purdue will Purdue. I also have the Atlanta Falcons at +1 at home, and this is where it segues in. I have the Detroit Lions at even, winning at home. And
I would
bring
never
this
touch
up
that game.
because Mr. Neal Ruhl, one of his picks is also Detroit, even at home. He's also got the LA Chargers at +1 and the San Francisco 49ers -3.5. What's going on over there at Feldman this weekend?
It's December, man. We got Red Tag event. They brought back the Red Tag event, so all the vehicles that have Red Tags get an extra $500 incentive on them.
Ooh.
It's still a great. Oh yeah, it's still great incentives out there, and we were busy yesterday. We sold 31. And our goal is to sell. Actually, we sold 35 yesterday. Yesterday we sold 38. 38 cars yesterday. Our goal is to sell 31 cars every single day this month. So we are willing to do whatever we can to put deals together. And
I got a question. Sort of, it's not related to sales, but it is. If you decide to buy a car for your honey bun, can you get one of those big red ribbons to put on the top of the car? You got you got those?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I keep those. I keep those in the big guy's office, and
right.
we got about 6 of them. So they're there waiting for you. Absolutely, yeah. Put the bow on it. We'll even make a special trip.
That's all I need to know.
Deliver it to you guys and make it a present.
So if you guys are getting, moving all these cars, which is awesome and needed, what's some of them, what brand? Like as far as what's one that's hot this season?
Well, Silverado's always hot. And,
Silverado?
They're at least now better than they have been really. And Tahoe Suburban, I've got Suburban left on the lot. Those are super flyers, and then obviously Equinox and Blazer.
Well, it makes sense. Makes sense as the weather starts getting a little bit worse around here. The snow's going to come down. Anyways, we're going to be out there on Monday. Are you going to be held accountable? Are you confident in your picks this week, bud? We're proud of you. You won one last week. All right.
I'm 100% confident in my picks this week, and I will be on there to either A, take the accountability, or dish the accountability.
All right.
So, I'll be there. And hopefully I'll be celebrating a Michigan Big Ten championship.
Absolutely. Last thing, give me your thoughts on the Lions game this weekend. Do they come out of there winning?
You know what the thing is that the Lions, you can literally see that they are gaining knowledge and experience on the field with the young guys. I mean, I remember I was sitting there watching the Chicago game with my dad when Aidan picked the ball off. I looked at him and I said, you can literally see Aidan Hutchinson growing each game to be able to read plays like that. You can see Kirby Joseph growing. You can see Malcolm Rodriguez growing. You can see Josh Pascal when he's in there growing. You can see James Houston come out and get 2 sacks on 2 plays. He's growing. Every single rookie is growing. And the fact that now they're adding Jamo into the mix, I don't know if they said he's playing for sure or not Sunday, but yeah, Jamo, and I mean the receiving, it's gonna be nuts. You could put me in quarterback, and if I miss a wide receiver and don't win, like.
All right, easy there, Buckaroo. What you got? Now you start to sound like easy. All right, that's it.
I'm being honest with you.
No,
think about your receiving core.
The weapons around it and what it does. That's what.
Yeah, but Jamo's gonna want to go deep. You're underthrown.
Goff tends to overthrow, not underthrow.
I'm talking about you.
No, we were talking about you. Terry's got the Terry's got the scouting report of you.
Come on, man.
Stop you ripping around the office. All right, Ryan Poulter, thank you. Go see him out at Feldman in Novi. We'll be out there on a Monday. There it is.
Wow. Jeez.
There it is. Good luck this weekend. Hopefully Purdue's.
National championship.
There it is. You heard it there. Get out there at Feldman.
He's excited.
Did you figure out your car situation?
Yes.
Attaboy. Now, Terry, another happy Feldman customer, Terry Foster. But hey, guys, let me tell you about Alta. Because that Alta uptime, that matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get the job done. You got a bog project coming up, Alta Rent, they got you covered. Give them a call today, 844, go to Alta. That's 844, go to Alta.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff-A Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward and Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff-A Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
For a limited time only, all new burgers and loaded fries at Big Boy. It's not a Slim Jim, it's the Big Jim. The chili cheese is such a tease. Guess what else is new? The bacon blue. How about upgrading those fries? Chili cheese fries, baked potato fries, nacho fries. What will it be? Satisfy those taste buds at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been, I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Welcome back, Big D Energy, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, Spencer Raxter, Flannel Sam here on this Friday. As we mentioned at the beginning of the show, Detroit Pistons, they won. They won a big game.
Shocker.
Not only a big game, but a game against one of the better teams, one of the, arguably best teams, one of the best players in the Dallas Mavericks. Did it in overtime. Did it the Pistons' way. Killian Hayes.
I was going to say, nobody can stop Killian Hayes.
Nobody could stop Killian Hayes. Is this something, was this the coming out party? Here he is, here he's come, or do I need to pump my brakes? What do you, Spence, you guys watch every game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's painful for me. I flip it on now and then, but the fact that I could turn it off because there is no defense and they're down 20 usually somewhere in the second quarter. But what did last night's game mean in the overall for you guys?
It meant a lot, honestly. I'm gonna pump the brakes on the coming out party for Killian Hayes. It was the game, one of the best games of his young career. The guy played fantastic. He was shooting the ball well. He's being aggressive on offense, getting rebounds, passing the ball that we know he can do. And in the third quarter, he was handling Luka Doncic. Like he was clamping up Luka for a little bit, which is a tough task. So it was a very impressive game from Killian Hayes. We'll need to see that consistently. His shot has looked a lot better this year. He has looked more confident in these past 3 weeks that he's been thrust into the starting lineup. You see him being aggressive on the offensive end, not settling for dishing it off. He's actually shooting when he gets in the lane. He's making floaters. He's making runners. He's shooting open threes, and he's knocking them down. So it's fun to watch Killian Hayes play aggressive, confident basketball. I'll need to see it for a little more period of time. I don't expect him to be this every night. I don't expect him to be a 22 points per game scorer. But if he can get you 12 to 14 points per game with the defense he plays and his passing ability, he will be a very good asset for the Pistons.
All right, every party has a pooper. That's why you invited me. It doesn't mean anything to me. No, it doesn't. I'll tell you why. If you follow the NBA, every blue moon, a bad team wins a game it shouldn't win. Now, what will probably happen? They'll probably lose 5 or 6 more in a row.
Probably.
So this doesn't mean anything. I mean, like The Pistons have beaten Golden State 2 out of the last 3 years at home. It doesn't mean anything. This Dallas game doesn't mean anything. It's just 1 of 82. It's a long season, and flukish things happen.
No, my question is, Spence, that you brought up as far as in the last 3 games or so with Cade being out, it's more or less being, hey, go out and do your thing, not being put back. My question is, some guys can't play. Yeah. They either got to play all or not to play in where the team needs them. Obviously, we agree moving forward, right? Cunningham, Ivy, Darren, right? But Killian, there's a spot to fill in where you're looking to fill in, but is this a role that he can play? Yeah. Or is this something that he needs to be out there and playing and driving and being more of the man?
Yeah, this is what it is, and I'm looking at it in a vacuum. I'm not saying this win over the Dallas Mavericks is going to project the Pistons to be a lottery or to be a play-in team or anything like that. They're still going to be a lottery team. They're still not going to have a great season, but for Killian Hayes, it was a big game, and I agree. You're looking to build around Cade, Ivy, and Darren. That is your core that you're looking to build around. And Killian Hayes, I don't expect him to play on this level every night, but if he can do some of that, if he can do 75% of what he did last night every night, that can be a very critical role for a good team. Is having that point guard off the bench who can play defense, can distribute the rock, and can knock down open shots. It's very important. And that's what we're asking for Killian. We're not asking for him to score 25 points, to go out there and be knocking, just to knock down open shots and to be aggressive. And that's what he has been over the past 3 weeks. So it's fun to watch.
One of the mistakes we make, or people make, in evaluating the NBA teams, they look at their top 3 stars and make that a determination of how good a team is going to be. But you do need a bench.
Yes.
The bench does play, I would say, 30% of the game. You can't allow opponents to go on 10-2 runs just because you go to your bench. Killian Hayes can be that guy that anchors the bench. You need a guy that anchors the bench, and you fill it all in. So if he can keep his confidence up, and if he's not afraid to shoot and he's making shots, then that bodes well in the long term for the Detroit Pistons.
And I'm really excited to, once this team fully gets healthy, to see that actual bench unit, like Terry said, led by Killian Hayes, him being the point guard, having Alec Burks just being a gun-for-hire, knockdown shooter, point getter, having Sadiq Bey, another gun-for-hire, can hopefully start hitting some shots on the outside, and then having a guy like Jalen Darren, having those 3 with Killian Hayes at the helm orchestrating that bench, it could be a good unit. Obviously, it's still young, and they still need to grow. But that's what I'm excited for. Once the starting lineup is fully healthy, and it's Cade, Ivy, Bogey, Stu, and Bagley, and then you have those guys coming off the bench, that's what I was really excited about. Because the Pistons lacked in bench scoring, obviously, last year because they had nobody on the team. And when bringing in a guy like Alec Burks to put in that bench rotation, along with moving Sadiq to the bench when you bring in Bogey, that provides a punch off the bench. That provides that kind of, Vinnie Johnson microwave is what I see Alec Burks as. He is coming off the bench, instant offense. So I'm excited for that when they're healthy, to see what that actual bench unit can do.
Well, get healthy next year.
Yeah.
So you can bring in the Frenchman.
Oh.
Want to bang your mama. Victor.
Yeah. Want to bang your mama. I love that. Oh, Vic.
Yeah.
I love it. Are you...
Want to bang your mama?
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Sam, do you still have faith in Killian Hayes, like Spence is saying? Can he, with this Pistons team, when healthy, if he comes off the bench, is this more the norm for him, or are you still up in the air?
I mean, he played really well last night. He's been playing better as of lately. But you would have thought, with the way that Killian Hayes' Twitter exploded, that he made the game-winning shot to win a playoff series. It was just like, oh, I told you so. Like, everybody was just blowing their wads all over the table about Killian Hayes. And I get it. Killian Hayes had a damn good game, and he was a big reason why they won. I didn't hear anything about Bojan Bogdanovic, who scored 30 on 5 of 6 from 3. I didn't hear anything about Marvin Bagley. It was all Killian Hayes, Killian Hayes, Killian Hayes. And this is a guy that he is still... for his career, his field goal percentage is 37% and his three-point percentage is 28%. This season, he's averaging 7.9 points on 37.3 from the floor and 32% from three. Pump the brakes a little bit. I'm glad that he is having a good game and he's having a better stretch because you don't want Troy Weaver's first ever draft pick to be a bust. But my goodness, can we let him do it a little bit consistently before we're ready to ask people like me to apologize? It's ridiculous. I've never seen anything like the obsession with Killian Hayes.
It is kind of a cult following. I will give it that. But it's shout out to Jack Kelly on Pistons Twitter. Great follow for Pistons Twitter. But in his past 11 games as a starter, he's averaging about 12 points a game, 6.2 assists. Steal and a half and shooting 40% from three. And in his past 4 games, he's gone for 22, 8 and 4, 11, 6 and 3 steals, 16, 8 and 3, 17, 9 and 8. Like he is playing the best stretch of basketball of his young career. So I agree, Bojan had a lot to do with the win. Obviously 30 points. Bagley is also on a very great stretch of basketball. But Killian, he won that game for the Pistons. He hit back-to-back threes in their last 2 possessions to win the game in overtime. So
you know what could have happened to Killian this year? He got shook.
Yeah.
Because when he looks at things, they drafted me high to come in here and run this team. Then what do? They use their number 1 pick to get a guy to replace me as the number 1 guy to run this team. Then the following year, they bring in another guy to play my position. And if Cade doesn't work out, then Jaden Ivey will run the team. So he could have been shook, and maybe he's through that now and says, you know what, this is what my worth is here. I can be a good bench player. All that noise is out the way now. That could be happening with Killian Hayes.
And here's a great opportunity, whether he's showcasing it to be that 6th guy or the guy off the bench not valuable, or he's showcasing his skills to somebody else, to be able to trade piece or whatever like this. The availability right now that can we all agree that these injuries, are the guys that it can help. Obviously, you want to see Sadiq Bey, get back in there. But to Sam's point, I don't expect any apologies yet. The fact that you acknowledge you had a good game, but let's continue to do it. Tell me about SMA there, Spencer.
Yeah, I will, because SMA, or the Sports Marketing Agency, helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. And trust me, everyone, I used to work in this field. I know stigma is a big reason why some people don't come forward to get help, because they feel like they're being judged for their choices and for their sickness. So if you or someone you know is struggling, head to thesportsma.com to get the help you deserve.
It's back. Year 3 of Woodward Sports Stuff-A Studio is here. The past 2 years, we've collected new unwrapped toys and stuffed our studio so we could hardly fit in it. This year, we're doing it even bigger. Join Woodward Sports and our whole family December 19th to the 23rd as we stuff our studio. While you're out shopping or just sitting on your couch ordering presents, make sure you grab one extra and drop it off at our studio, 15 Mile in Woodward in Birmingham. We'll be collecting toys around the clock to make sure every child in Mott's Children's Hospital feels the warmth of the holiday season. It's the time of year to do for others. Help us stuff our studio. Special thanks to all the wonderful elves at Meyer and Guardian Alarm for keeping the toys safe. Stuff-A Studio 2022 with Woodward Sports.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy, better sleep, blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
What's going on, everybody? It's Spencer for the Folding Warehouse in Hamtramck, the home of the original football bowling pin game called Folding. Multiple different ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play as well as private lane reservation for $120 if you get thirsty. They got a $2 mystery beer vending machine and multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So make sure you go check them out in Hamtramck or visit them online at foldingwarehouse.com.
Final segment here on this Friday. Big D Energy, D Mac, T Foss, Flannel Sam, Venmo Rats, kicking it off. Good luck to Michigan this weekend. Good luck to the Lions. The Red Wings, they play the final of their 5-game homestand tomorrow against the Vegas Knights. It doesn't get any easier. They're on the road Sunday. They got 5 games, Terry, in the next 8 days. 4 of them are on the road. They do a Florida trip, Tampa, Florida, and then they end in Dallas. The schedule doesn't get much easier. I see that 17 wins. Vegas is. It's going to be a good game tomorrow if anybody's going down there. Anything specific we're looking for on the weekend? Because for me, it's you don't want things to carry over.
Yeah.
Obviously, we expect Husso to be in net. Let's get the goals against down. But the power play, 0 for 7 the other night, that cost you the victory. Can we get it going? Now, opportunities leading back into the Toronto game, and it's not like the eyeball test is there's some execution there, but they got to find a way to put the puck in the net. So that's especially against these teams, especially going on the road. So doesn't get easier. We could be sitting here today, right, where we're in the wild card spot, and sit here a week from now and be out of the playoffs. So I don't expect that, but it doesn't get any easier.
I think this is a critical game in your eyes because we had talked about pile up points. And this is the game that's going to determine if they piled up enough home points in this 5-game homestand to determine this series or the series of games to be a success or failure.
Well, if I'm going to be consistent, then this is a must-win because that will put them at 3-1-1, which I said would
that was your magic number.
That was the magic number, and then you can move forward where Monday we'll see hopefully going into Columbus is a win, but you want to go again 500 on the road trip. You know, one of the guys I wanted to just touch on a little bit as far as is a player like Filip Hronek. Right, where there's a guy that earlier in the season there was questions, and I brought it up where it was time to shut up or show up. But when we talk about the guys that Steve Eisman brought in a lot of the time, let's talk about the Hroneks, that is a draft pick that came here, the Rasmussens, the guys that are homegrown products that are coming out playing. Obviously, Rasmussen, it's more being that third, fourth line centerman, puck possession, physicality. Learning like that, playing into the size. But Spenny, I know that we had questions about was Hronek one that could be moved at the trade deadline? Is he a piece? The way that he's played, he's sort of solidified that second line and power play guy. What have you thought about the way he's played? Because he just consistently, you know, and it's not just with the points. You look at the plus minus, you look at the time on the ice.
Yeah, you're right. You look at everything that he's doing, and it is very impressive. But it does come down to his offense as well, because the Red Wings don't really have that offensive defenseman. He is the Red Wings offensive defenseman. You like what Osterley and Wallman do when they get involved in the offense, but Hronek is consistently on the power play, getting play. He had 2 points against Buffalo, and he's making less mistakes to me defensively, where last year we saw him make a lot of mistakes, whether it's turning the puck over in the neutral zone or doing different things like that, and he seemed to tighten those up. And I don't know if that's just helping, working with guys. Obviously, Lidstrom being there helps a lot. You have the greatest defenseman of all time. He's going to help you tweak your game. So it's impressive to me how he's tweaking some of those things and making it better. But a big thing for me to watch out for is Bertuzzi got put on the IR, obviously, because that hand injury took one from Sherratt. I'd like to see Lucas Raymond step up. I want to see Lucas Raymond step up. He had a good stretch. He's kind of tailed off a little bit in the past couple games, but I'd like to see him step up and start putting some in the back of the net.
No, there's opportunity. I think you're talking about simplifying.
Yes.
And a lot of these guys, especially the younger guys, they try to do too much. I think it's just you think you don't have to do more. What I see is Hronek, but it's also too when we go back to who's he playing with, the veteran and Olli Mata.
Yeah.
Terry, what?
I think there might be something going on in that dressing room, because it seems if somebody's being scrutinized, maybe not cop, but if guys are being scrutinized and saying, I don't know what they're going to be this season, or I don't think they're going to be that good, it seems like they play better, or they come through, and then your doubts kind of leave. So I'm wondering if there's someone in the room, or as collectively, they're saying, guys, hey, you're good. I trust you. Let's go roll.
And that's where it is, Terry. And collectively, that's culture, right? Fixing it from the inside out. I think you've nailed it all there. One game you're looking forward to this weekend?
I'm gonna lie to you now.
Good.
The Big Ten championship game. I'm really not looking forward to it, but Michigan has to look beyond teams like Purdue. But you got to bring home a second chip. After you beat Ohio State, you got to bring home another Big Ten championship, and to put yourself in position to play the big boys.
Sam?
Yeah, I got to go the Big Ten championship as well. I don't want to just overlook it like it's nothing. And if Michigan does lose this game, they're not going to be known as Big Ten champions. So they got to focus in. I'm going to be locked in. Let's go blue.
Spotty?
San Francisco, Miami, Dolphins, 49ers. I think that's going to be a great game. So
and I'm looking forward to the Lions, Jags, just because let's prove that loss, as Neal said. Anyways, for Sam Plano, Spenmo, Rax, Terry Foster, I'm Darren McCarty. Have a great weekend. Deuces. See you for Feldman on Monday.